Welcome back to the Tidarium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for 2025. This is April 20th, and it's been a pretty busy weekend. Seen a lot of people out. A lot of kids have Transformers in their hands, looking at Transformers at stores, but seems like way more people out on an Easter weekend, getting ready for Easter, getting ready for probably the biggest party of their life, and it's 420 sales. Forgot about that. Continuing to see more NECA hauls and all of those kinds of things, and I've got a story for the stuff that I got for my haul. I'll talk about that. There's a little bit of Joe news, and yeah, it's small Joe news, in 3.754 inch news there. Bazooka, it packs a blast. Hurricane Hordak, this is going to be coming up, I think, Tuesday, so be ready for this, or maybe it won't sell out. You might be able to pick it up in November. I don't know. I'll probably order mine. Probably. And then we've got some superpower stuff, which I kind of missed the whole boat on this already. Like 14 minutes after I found out it was all gone. Or if there's already like 2 or 3 missing out of the wave, why bother? So I'm going to, maybe Entertainment Earth will get some in stock and sell them. But I want to talk about the Fortress of Solitude and all that good stuff. Whoa! What's all this? Huh. We got Star Wars. Oh, I got some work to do at the end of this video because there's actually really a lot of Star Wars stuff to talk about. Coming up. Alright, so what's new at Shozy Store? And I actually almost completely glazed over this whole fact here. And I might actually get this, but I don't see the point for me to get a second one. But this is DX9 Toys D21 Red Storm Sideswipe, and it's just getting a reissue, but with a different color. And I don't think they're even making it 2 different listings on the site. Still $79.99. I think that might be a little more expensive than the last one. And this, the only thing I really tell different, they're calling it the animation accurate, and the only thing I really notice is slightly different color in the clear lens, like the headlights and the windshield. And also, the feet seem to not be back metalized anymore. So, Mortoon, I'm tempted in a way, because it is a great figure. We've got pre-order up, $1 down for the DX9 Mini 09 Brainstorm. I'm believing this will be $39.99. I do not know for sure. But I think that's kind of where they were with their Michael Murphy. Is that what they called that one? Which was Chrome Dome. This is Brainstorm. This is the Mini 03, and they're just calling it Brainstorm. They'll probably have another name figured out by the time they print the box, but looks pretty good. Now here's what's going on with the DX9 ones. They look fantastic in bot mode, but alt mode, okay. Maybe not perfectly great. The alt mode's okay, but I love the bot modes, which is how I display them, so definitely getting this one. Got it pre-ordered right away. I went ahead and pre-ordered the Big Mac Toys Big 01 Fortress Maximus. Funny how they put little stuff over the face so you can't tell it's Fortress Maximus. Like, who is it? I can't figure out who it is. Anyway, this is 29.92 inches tall, which is the exact measurement that it gave. And so almost an inch bigger than we were considering or thinking about before. Still looks pretty good. It's a pre-order, $1 down. I've got the pre-order. I'm in on this unless the price comes out and it's like $500. I doubt it will be that much. I doubt it's going to be much more than... I'm not even going to guess, but it's not going to be that high. It's not going to be that high because it's 420. And this is Voltron, and we talked about this last week, but this is the 3.0 Voltron. Since Shozy's got it, I'm going to pick it up. It requires 30 down, so I had to think about it for a little bit. But I put my 30 down on it, and I'm going all in on this bad boy. And I think it looks better than the first version. And I do believe Voltrons need vac metal. I mean, it's just my belief. We're going to roll right into some masterpiece news here. No, when I first saw this, I was like, why are they showing us the Yolo Park one again? Why are they... And this is an actual transforming one. Did touch on it Friday for just a bit, and it really led right into Friday's topic really well. I think that it looks pretty good for what it is for the movie 7, and they're naming themselves movie 7 because they're starting with these designs, which is interesting how they're doing it. Here it is from the back, and yeah, I think that it matches the character model very well. Now, there's still no price on it, but there is height, it does say, and the reason I'm kind of leading from Show Z into all of this is because they have information on it that I don't see everywhere else. 7.09 inches tall, and there's no known release date, but they do have updated pictures. Now, oddly enough, I was the only one that thought it was odd that he turns into Jazz's alt mode, but he does actually turn into the correct alt mode, like a race car, for a short, brief period of time in the movie, so I would expect in the future we could get that. It is a possibility, but anyway, here we go with this from the side, and I want to say, once we see it in color, it'll probably look smoother. With the grayscale, you see every single line and every single fold point and all of that. It'll be more blended in, especially when it's got paint and stripe and all that kind of stuff. So the accents on it, it'll be less noticeable. Still be noticeable. It'll be less noticeable. But I think the alt mode is the clear winner in this design. They're also doing a Bumblebee, and it's interesting. The Bumblebee's about the same size. I think the Bumblebee is like 1 centimeter smaller. So it's just a small fraction of an inch smaller. And it, to me, matches the character model. I'm just kind of picturing this with some super bright yellow paint all over it. I think it would look fantastic. The alt mode, again, is another one that shines. Now, this looks super clean, which these are renders. This tells me that two things. Number one, Mirage is way further along. And number two, this one is not as far along. There's so much more that's going to have to happen to this before we see how it really turns out. But that's why I think Mirage is the only one that I saw for pre-order so far. I don't want to discourage anyone from any of these. I think this is Scourge, because it says that we're supposed to have a Scourge picture, and I only see a back of him. Where's the rest of the pictures? It was omitted. I'm not sure, but there it is. For all it's worth, we'll probably see the front tomorrow or sometime next week. Oh, well, here's a picture of Scourge, but it's not the movie 7. This one is actually, Yolo Park in their AMK Pro 8-inch figures, so about the same size, maybe 1 inch taller than those Masterpiece ones. No, actually, the movie 7 Scourge is 11 inches tall. 11 inches tall. And so I believe this one will probably be in the 8-inch range, because it is the AMK Pro series for Yolo Park. But didn't find any other like really super great pictures of this. There was literal in-hand images and some comparisons and stuff, but this is an interesting figure if you're in on this. I'm really going to pick and choose, and just to be honest, I really am in on the G1 stuff. I will be picking and choosing this stuff based on just, I might want one, I might not, but I don't think it looks bad. I really like everything that Yolo Park's done in the AMK and the AMK Pro series. All right, moving on now. We have seen this guy before, but I kind of think that there's some new stuff with this. This is Robot Toys RT-D01 Lord Ventagon, and I believe this is Masterpiece scale, size-wise, and all that kind of stuff. And this is showing that there's 2 different claws that are going to be used on this guy because of the fact that one was the early design and one was animation accurate, so you can pick which one you like the most. And of course the alt mode. So we've seen this, but this is further along, closer to production, and it looks good. I think it looks fantastic for what it is. If you're in on this character, if you like this Beast Wars, and this, once it starts getting outside of the main cast of Beast Wars, that's when you start to wonder. This one's still kind of close enough in that I think it's going to sell well. It's an interesting start off point. But with Takara, I think just doing Rat Trap and just finishing it, they're going to be done, I guess. Other companies got to pick up the slack. So we got pictures on Weibo of a fully completed, combined version of Defensor from MMC. So the MMC's Defensor looks pretty good overall. I do kind of feel like his feet are a little on the small side, and it is that all-in-one stuff that they got going on there. And then it works. It works. I haven't seen how it combines, but I do believe that all that tucks into, the main blue bot there. And if you want to call him Hotspot, Hotshot, I always get them confused because 2 characters with very similar names. But this does look great. I do believe it's Blades, if I'm not mistaken. Blades is the last component to finish this up, and I actually think Blades is next on X-Transbot's list, or it's coming up soon for X-Transbots also. But it'll be fun to see this compared next to X-Trans. Somebody out there is going to be doing both. Somebody's going to compare them both. I'm not, though. I watch it from afar, but I would say that if X-Transbots wasn't doing theirs, I'd have been in on this, because I think it looks really good, and it works. I don't know if I like the all-in-one, though, but it still works. And Kang Toys is working on their Longyan 04 Bronto Solid Sludge. Now, this is the color prototypes, which is definitely where Kang Toys shines. The paint is amazing, and it looks really good. They have done a pretty fantastic job with all of this. And I find it interesting that they wanted to show pictures versus their Legends one. Now, there's discussion on the smaller versions that they're making. Is their smaller one Legends? Some people say it's more like mainline, but I thought it was targeting the Legends market. But as you can see side by side, it does look more like the mainline with their dinos, which is interesting that they're going that route. But, I mean, you can have them the size of mainline and still call them Legends, because dinos are supposed to be so much bigger than standard figures. But if you just look at this scale-wise, this does look like a masterpiece on the left, and it looks like standard, like Hasbro scale on the right. But they are very stylized. They do look a whole lot different than anything you're going to see dino-wise from anyone else. All right, we've got New Age and their version of Trailbreaker, and people are starting to post pictures of it. It looks pretty good. I'm impressed. I actually need to watch a review. I might pick one up. I just need to see the size difference. Like, what's the size of this guy, and how big is he versus Magic Square stuff? But I'm still waiting. I'm waiting on Hoist. I'm going to do a direct comparison with Hoist for, what? Them in Magic Square? Yeah, them in Magic Square. There's Yell Mode. So, New Age is here. Looks pretty good. The side window seems a little bit weird, but we've kind of seen most of these pictures before. But this is in hand. This is official product, not renders. This is not New Age putting out their own glamour shots or anything like that. So, there it is. And, yeah, it doesn't look bad. I'm wondering how big it is. Their bigger bots have been holding up pretty close to Magic Squares lately. This is Iron Factory IFE X71 Fang of Botus. Thing about this guy is that I think we have seen this before, but I mean, everything old is new again, and I think these are more updated pictures. But I'm going to roll with it. I mean, more updated pictures. It's always good to have more updated pictures on this guy. I think it's a good looking bot overall, but again, a little on the stylized side, but not as stylized as usual for these guys. Here he is as a Choppa. Yeah, I do feel like we've seen these pictures before, but they were recently released or updated or something along those lines. Still, not a bad looking figure. Remember, Legends scale Iron Factory, and oddly enough, less stylized than usual. New Age Toys is showing off their H27U David, and it's a new deco and design inspired by the Optimus look in the new Skybound Energon Universe comic, now with Megatron's right arm. He also includes a blaster, 6 interchangeable hands, matrix, and a battle damage head, and a blue Energon axe. I don't know if this is what I'm in on. Does it show, do you get a standard arm too? I don't think so. You know, if you had Megatron's arm, what would you do with it? What would you do if you had Megatron's arm? You would do this. This is what you do. You would transform and put a cannon on your shoulder, right? Right? That's what you do with, if you have a Megatron arm. Transform into this and, yeah, cannon on your shoulder. That is better than carrying a chip on your shoulder. Trust me. Now we're going to talk about some Blokies. And this is Transformers Devastator on display at 37th International Toys and Hobby in Shenzhen Exhibition. And it looks pretty cool. I actually got into a conversation with a buddy of mine that buys these by the case, because he said you have to buy them by the case to guarantee you get one of everything. So this is like a wild hunt to get it. I forgot to ask him about the parts. How do you get the parts? But he said you got to buy a full case, and you'll be guaranteed to get a full Devastator. And that's how it's going to go. And he's in on it all. Like, he is fully in on all of this. So that's how it goes. So it should be all in one case release. Past that, I didn't really go much further past that. But I'm not collecting this stuff. He is, and he seems to be stoked. I do want to point out that I found this to be a very uneventful display and picture, but it does look very clean and neat. You won't find my displays looking like this. There's too much empty space for my liking. But Takara Tomy display at Osaka Kansai Expo 2025. And this is a kind of a trade and industry show. And it is the Transformers display in the factory era, focused on Japanese marketing. So there might be more updates coming out of this. But this is a nice transition into some Missing Link. What's missing here? All right, so Missing Link rumor. This is rumor, but then again, it's too close to reality to be a rumor. It's got to be happening, right? But I will credit Proto Man at the Slag podcast on YouTube. He did an excellent analysis and breakdown of this, so go check his out if you want to get deeper into this. But a couple of good points that he brought up was that the articulation on these figures is probably, they've been trying to match the artwork. So the minimum articulation that they're going to give these is a minimum to match the artwork. And so far, it has been consistent all the way across the board. And in this example here, it should do the same thing. So articulation in the knees and hips for the trailer that turns from a trailer into a brick, but now it's going to turn from a trailer into an actual working figure. I am very interested in this. Also, the fact that we already have the Prime, just put them out in white, and bada bing, bada boom. So that's easy. They'll probably do a white Prime on its own. They'll probably do both colors, in my opinion. They'll get you the blue, the darker blue, they'll get you the lighter blue. I'm in on the darker blue, but I'll probably in on both. But very interesting discussion and topic on this and how it would go. And yeah, I'd be in on it. The next one is Grimlock. And again, we've got knee articulation already, but giving it adequate hip articulation and in and out, more articulation with the Grimlock. I would believe they would have his head slide forward. I don't see how come that's not something that could be fixed to get his head more centrally located in there, and probably with that get a whole sliding mechanism to bring that the dino head a little bit closer too, so make it a little bit better. Also bending elbows and shoulders on some sort of in and out there, butterfly-ish kind of stuff. But a lot that they could do with this. They don't even need to do a lot. Just add in a handful of joints and it would be, I mean, it was already a good figure. It was already a great, one of the top figures from G1 in aesthetic and playability. Just this would take it to the next level. Now this kind of brings in the whole Bango Toys version. What are people going to do about this? Because this is already a Missing Link style of one, which I'm in on. I've got it pre-ordered. I'm not canceling it. I'm going to be in on it. I would compare it side to side and put it up, and do the Pepsi challenge, right? And see which one's better side by side. That's the kind of fun in collecting that we can do. But I still don't see any updates on this, and it says that it's still unknown for release date, and it's been up for pre-order since May of 2024. All right, got more pictures of the Supreme version of Optimus Prime, decked out in all red, and looks pretty good. This is another thing that I want to talk about when it comes to Missing Link. I believe all the Missing Link stuff will eventually, somehow, in some way, be reissued in U.S. packaging, which is going to suck for those of us who bought it all along, but for me personally, I do want to keep it in U.S. packaging. I like the packaging, but at the same time, I'm going to have the ones in Japanese package open on the shelf, so that would work for me. But if they do reissue me U.S. package, I get it. This one, of course, is made for the U.S. market, or I'm not even sure which market it's made for, but it is printed in U.S. So yeah, I didn't even know it was made for the U.S. It says right here, will be in physical stores in the U.S. and the U.K. So Anyhow, there it is, and it's already sold out on the Supreme website. Hasbro's trucking along on their new combiners. This is the Deluxe Vortex, and looks pretty good. They are bringing in and ushering in the next generation of these, and I guess we're comparing the new to the old. The new one's on the left, and the old one's the Combiner Wars from 2013. I say 2013 because that's when they started. It might be 14 or 15 when this one actually came out, but now they gotta reverse these. It looks to have reversed. Am I right on that? Did they reverse these? And we have the new one on the right side. It's kind of confusing. Anyway, this is the helicopter mode, chopper mode, which is going to basically give you the semi-look of the arm mode, which is what really matters the most, right? And we got an update here from a user that's got this in hand, and it's on Reddit, via Reddit. And this is Transformers Studio Series Constructicon Mix Master and Scavenger in combined mode. And it shows with Devastator's arm and legs, so just missing one part to complete this. And it looks pretty good. People are arguing that it doesn't look perfect or great for the price and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, stepping back and looking at it, I don't think it looks that bad as a mainline Hasbro offering that you're going to be able to bang out in less than a year. That's pretty awesome. And I feel like this stuff's all going to be easily attainable. I already found one of them at a Walmart. But they're mixing scales. Like the arms are Voyager. I think both the legs, if I'm right on that, both the legs are going to be Voyager and the arms are going to be Deluxe. And then Commander Class for the torso. We do have a little bit of silence from X-Transbots and Fans Toys, a little bit. Not really anything releasing right now as of yet that I know of coming out this week. But I will say this, we'll probably get some stuff in July. That's still a ways away at TFCon Toronto. Usually it's a pretty good TFCon. But we're going to have the voice of Jazz and Transformers 1. If that's something you're interested in, then cool, go for it. And I'm not going to be there, but I will be interested in that third-party panel, my favorite part of TFCon. So, Transformers Last Night, Barricade, car for sale, and priced $490,000. Okay, if that's... I'm sure you could do your own, but... and I'm sure this probably isn't the best daily driver out there. Still kind of cool, kind of interesting to own a piece of history if you want to drop a cool $500,000. And then we've got some... This is kind of cool. So we've got the vinyl. It is the movie original soundtrack limited Unicron marbled vinyl, and these media, the older media, is making a comeback. My son collects these, not the Transformers one, but he collects these. He's got his favorite singers and artists, modern day artists that are putting their albums out now, are releasing them on vinyl, and he pays for them with his own money, and he plays them. He's got a record player. In 2025. All right, that's going to be it for Transformers news for now, but let's get into some stuff. Mirage Comics Shredder 2-pack and April by NECA. And so we've got the 2-pack is Worms of Madness Shredder Scale Action Figure 2-pack, Eastman Laird, Ninja Turtles, and looks pretty cool. The Shredder itself looks interesting. If you're into all of this style, you're just getting a lot of great stuff. And then the April is another one, I guess, another based on Eastman and Laird's Ninja Turtles comic books from Mirage Studio. So they look great, but all this stuff's going on right now, and I don't believe this is actually just at the Haulathon. It is dropping at Haulathon, and I think it'll be available at other places down the road, but I'm not 100% sure about that because I'm not as dialed in on TMNT. But I got what I wanted out of the deal. I'm going to run down what they're saying is the rest of this Haulathon for this week, but then I'm going to tell you what I got, which doesn't really align with all of this, except for one thing. But you got the TMNT Comics Handyman Donatello, Comics April O'Neil, Toon Animated Shredder, we'll talk about that. A 13-inch plush Sonic the Hedgehog, Hello Kitty 13-inch Enhanced Rabbit plush, and then TMNT plus Garfield crossover Garfello plush. So I didn't pre-order none of those. All right, so this Shredder is really awesome. It's better than the first version. The first version was about 90% of the way there. This one is almost 100% of the way there. I mean, nothing's perfect, but it's really close. I was watching Johnny Nostalgia and Mad Hatter, and they were talking about this, and they were saying that it was up, and then I think they said it was sold out or something. I couldn't find it, and then I was like, oh, I don't really care. I'll come back and check it again later. I checked it at about 1 p.m., and it was there, so I ordered it on Target.com, and it was easy. Haven't seen it at the store yet, but I did see something else in the store. I think this panda had come out before, and this one's just like slightly different color variations, and I passed on it. But I really liked the panda, and it looked good, and so I bought the panda. He doesn't come with a whole heck of a lot, but I had no idea it was coming out. I just saw it in the store, and I was like, cool. Haulathon's kind of fun, and it's not very expensive because I only bought 2 figures. Now, if you count Pee Wee Herman, okay, I bought 3 figures, but really not a whole lot to discuss there. Real quick segment for G.I. Joe, and I did pre-order this. This is the Claw. I have to say that I did something stupid. Really stupid. I went ahead and re-upped on the Pulse Premium. Paid the $50 or whatever for Pulse Premium. And at the same time, I actually had one of the snake armors still in my cart. It said low stock, as it would let me check out. And I said, well, I don't want to pay for shipping, so let me take it out of my cart, pay for this. Went back and it wasn't in there. I really don't care so much about the snake armor. I would have got one if it let me. Then I would have had the free shipping and it would have been worth it. So that disappointed me. But I was able to get this. And I think it was still up for 3 hours after. So it wasn't really hard to get one of these, I don't think. I don't think it was that hard. Because I checked like 30 minutes or so after. It was still up. And then I checked later. It was sold out. But it didn't seem like it was hard to get. And so I might have wasted my $50. But now I placed a multitude of pre-orders. All separate orders in case I want to cancel them. But I do feel like Hasbro will do better, fare better with tariffs. It's just my belief. Than smaller ones. Or especially better than secondary. Then getting into these Hiya Toys and their Bazooka. 4-inch, 4.3 inches scale. Bigger figure. Looks pretty good. Looks very good. And very classic. See, they were making these kind of super stylized for a bit there. And now they're making them more like what makes sense. Plus, you've got removable launcher missiles for the missile launcher. And you've got his trigger finger gun. How could you not put that on him? You got to have him on his missile launcher the whole time. But $25, but I bet you when it's up at pre-order at, what is it? It's not Show Z, but it's Gunamit. Then it's probably going to be like $35, $40. And here he is in the wild. Well, not really wild. This is some good pictures, good art. Shows them all put together, ready to go, ready to launch. And a nice representation of a very, very classic RH figure. A real American hero figure. Oh, but we can talk about Hurricane Hordak. Looks like a gold vac metallized plated armor on him. That looks good. Now, this is kind of, I guess, a Hurricane Hordak, an origin of Hordak. And you got swappable heads, a lot of different things going on with him. I thought we already got this in Origins, but maybe we didn't. I don't. There was already one where his chest opened up and some saw blades come out, I guess. I don't know. I kept those on the card, so I really don't know what they do. But this one here looks like it's special collector's edition. And there it is. I'm looking forward to this. I'm interested in this, but it's one of those that if there's not something else to order with it, it's just going to suck having to pay the extra money for shipping. But it's Tuesday, so D-Day coming on Tuesday. It might not make it till November, but it might make it till November. I'm just curious with each one of these releases if they sell out, if there's enough interest in it. I feel like people are losing interest in MOTU fast. And part of it's when you start getting into deeper cuts, there's less interest. But Hordak is a huge character, so we'll see what happens. So a lot of McFarlane stuff, just a blitz of it, blasting it out of nowhere here. So we've got, I'm going to run through the Masterverse stuff, or the Multiverse stuff, and then I'm going to split off and talk more about the superpowers. But DC Multiverse, Superpowers, movie Superman, Then there's movie Superman with Crypto. Then there is, and those are I think available everywhere. Movie Superman, Metamorpho, Big Bad Toy Store, all the places. Then Mega Fig Kaiju, and then Superpowers Superman. So then we got to get into some superpower stuff. Not really going to go too much into the bigger ones. I'm personally more into these. And all the BBTS are sold out, and pretty much there's one or two stragglers left that you can order, but to me, I know I'm going to have to order a whole wave to get these, so I'm just going to hold off. I'm going to hold off or I'm going to miss them, because nothing really is, to me, a necessity in this way, but I do really like the Fortress of Solitude. It is awesome. Really is. It's a good idea that they made this, and it's not a playset. It is a diorama piece. So don't get your hopes up that you're going to have trapdoors and all that, but you get a seat, and you get this extra little Superman robot that is not included in the standard set that is up for pre-order. Now, you're going to have to wait for, I think they call it a gold label set, and you probably have to get straight from McFarlane, which sucks. But I would like to just have the figure on a card, which is not a possibility. Maybe it'll be carded inside the box. I don't know. That'll be interesting stuff to find out. But yeah, this Fortress of Solitude looks awesome. I do not like the fact that it's $40 though, which makes me curiouser and curiouser. How much is the gold label going to be? 50? But why is it 40? All your other ones were 30, and it doesn't look like you did a whole lot more with this, but it's impressive. Here's the downside. If you really want to make a great one, you need two. That's in my belief. That's the way all of these little backdrops are. You probably need two if you really want to make it look great, but it looks awesome. A whole lot of fun. Something I don't think we've ever gotten, but you know what we have gotten in the past? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I should have put this on the back of the NECA stuff. Haulathon. This picture is not that great, but don't worry, I got better pictures for you. Now, have you wanted one of these? Now, I've kept you in the know. I bought mine, pre-ordered, $80, got it, was glad I got it. I remember it coming up, selling out, coming up, selling out, coming up, selling out. And then they had it on clearance to $66 for a while, clearance down to $60. And I was listening to JC's TNI News, and somebody in there said they found one, it dropped to $50. And just to check, it piqued my curiosity, and this is what I found. So then I jumped over there. They're $300. Everybody's asking $300 for it. Obviously, Amazon sold out. These are third-party sellers. They can ask whatever they want. They probably won't get it, but it was shocking. So I was like, well, what are eBay sellers selling it for? Because if all these people just snatched it for $50 or $40 or whatever, what are they selling it for? But before I get into that, if you understand how this works, and the third-party selling on here is these people are every day actively involved in Amazon. I buy 5 things on Amazon a year. Place 5 orders. There might be 2 or 3 things in order, but like 5 or 6 a year at the most. And so I'm not looking at it that much. But the people that are every single day depending on it for their income look at it, and guess what? They'll buy it out when it gets low enough and then put them up in their store. That's how it works. And that's why there's always some present on here with some astronomical price. So, jumping on over to there, you can still get a good deal on some of these if you want. A good deal is 100. There are 9 when I checked. There are 9 available. And I think people are starting to get the memo. And there's 5 on Macari. So people are getting the memo that this stuff's starting to get expensive. So if you want one, I don't think it's going to be any cheaper than it is now. I don't see them reissuing this for one reason. Although the van came out like every year for 12 years or something. This is a bigger, more specialty item and sat on clearance for a considerable amount of time. On clearance for 4 or 5 months to move them. And I don't think Amazon wants to go through that again. Well, not anytime soon. There's also this Lex Luthor, which I did not have in that first list of reveals, but I think it looks pretty cool with the purple suit he's got going on there. So he's got a purple suit. Interesting looking Lex Luthor overall. Not based on Gene Hackman. Now, I want to say Gene Hackman did pass away. That was very sad, and how that happened, and probably his last 7 years of life has been pretty sad. But it got me thinking. The whole Gene Hackman passing got me thinking. If you can look here, is it John Cryer? That's the nephew of Gene Hackman in Superman movie. Is 2.5 Men a spin-off of Superman? And Charlie and Alan really are evil because their uncle is Lex Luthor, and they had to change their name to Harper. Disprove that. All right, we've got a lot of work to do here, so I'm going to start out with this. This is SH Figuarts making a smaller than Black Series scale, I believe, smaller than Black Series scale, Revenge of the Sith version of General Grievous. Now, the thing about this is that I don't think the one Hasbro made was great. I think it was great that it exists, but not great as if I was a little disappointed in it. Kind of wish I would have kept it in the box. So it went back in the box. But I will say this one is probably going to blow it out of the water. But it's probably going to blow the price out of the water too, over $100. Did not reveal price and all that stuff just yet. Just a teaser to get you excited. Then they're going to go in for the kill and take your lightsaber. All right, let's get some work done here. Star Wars. This is... Let's get all this in. Hopefully it's all in order. Star Wars Black Series. Cal Kestis with a Turgle and Scuba Stev. Stev. Now, this is from the video game and I think Survivor. Jedi Survivor. Comes with a bunch of lightsabers and a frog-looking dude, and you got some lightsaber options. You got a gun option. You do get this extra head. Feel like it's Talladega Nights and not Ricky Bobby, but the other dude. And is his name? His name is Cal on Talladega Nights. Cal Notson. I didn't even finish watching that movie, but I was like, looks like they're trying to go for a Cal with that mustache thing going on there. Don't just believe me and take it at face value. Face value. What do you think? Make up your own mind. All right, Chewbacca. Hold on a second. I need to go check and see if I have a Chewbacca. I've got 5. I don't need another Chewbacca. I don't even know what's different on this. I do not like the paint being all weird, different colors all over the place. Is it more accurate? I don't know. The shading and all that. I'm happy with what I've got. And then this is part of the problem with Star Wars. People have been collecting all along. Don't need another Chewbacca. But these main characters actually do sell. And right now you see like a Mandalorian and a Darth Vader hanging, which hung for a while, didn't sell. Then they sold out, restock, sold out, restock, sold out, restock several times. I got to watch that. And that's the truth. Main characters sell, but collectors like myself don't need another one. And I'm not rebuying no matter what. Getting into this one here, though, the Dash Rendar. I mean, good looking figure. If you collected in the 90s and that, when everybody in the world was collecting Star Wars, including my grandma, she collected Beanie Babies at the time. This is a good looking representation of, I don't know if it's accurate, it just looks good. And it's going to be hard to not buy. I'm not pre-ordering any of this stuff, but if I find it in the store and I feel like it's a reasonable price, 25, not 27 or something, I'll probably pick it up. I want to say this Han Solo looks good, but I have this Han Solo. I don't need this version of Han Solo again. But it looks good. I think it's obviously the best that they've ever done. And even though the head sculpt is not 100% nailing Harrison Ford, it's still a decent head sculpt. And with all that, I'd be interested in it. This is one of those that I will say, no, I'm not buying one of these, but I probably will. And I'd be a sucker if this thing came out on a retro card. I mean, I'm just honest. I would be a sucker for this on a retro card. I don't need it at all. And this is another thing. This is the problem with Star Wars. This probably will sell. People do probably need one of these if they don't want to pay $12 on eBay to get one. But at the same time, it does look better than what's already existing. So Night Sister Marin, and this can be available everything. I guess I should go back. The Cal Kestis and the Black Series Ronin and R5D6, not to that yet. The Cal Kestis one was an Amazon exclusive, allegedly, for now, that we know of. This one here is available everywhere. And I don't know much about it. I'm, of course, based off video games and all of that. Looks pretty good. And if you play the game, you'd like her. I'm not into it myself, and I have not much to contribute. This is the other one they were talking about, the Amazon exclusive Black Series, the Ronin, and R5D56. We have seen this before, but these are official release pictures, so they, of course, look better. And it's going to be an Amazon exclusive also. But yeah, since we've seen this before, we can move on. This is where it gets a little sticky. It's a little bit sticky. This one is the Bantha for Vintage Collection. If you're anything like me, you've got the other Bantha. Granted, it's been 20 years, almost 30 years. 1997 when they released the last Bantha. And it's almost 30 years. So I don't have a problem with them releasing another one. The first one, I paid, the price tag's still on mine. Well, they wanted 20, I talked about it at 12. I paid 12 for that thing, cash money. And this one here is going to cost 70. 70. And by the way, I could probably figure out a way to get that's a Black Series one back in my picture. I could figure out how to get that on this Bantha too. I mean, I've kind of thought about this. If you release animals and stuff which are different sizes, you could effectively make them work for Black Series or for Vintage Collection. So that could also be a win. If you're like, well, I want a Black Series Bantha, they're never going to make a Black Series Bantha, but you could straddle your Black Series figures on it, look fine. I don't think anyone's really thought of that yet. I mean, me first here thinking of that, but it is different than the one they released in the 90s. Is it better? Well, I mean, I got one that's battered and beaten for $12. I still have my original one I bought in 1997, though, in the package. Looking perfect. But with all of that, will I be in on this? No. Would I pick one up on sale? Maybe. Are those cheeks hollow? You decide. The other problem with the Vintage Collection stuff, which I love the Vintage Collection. I mean, it's God scale, right? The 3.75 inch, 4 inch is God scale. Ask Chad at just Chad or it's Chad. Tusken Raider box looks great. If you want to have the actual figure itself, you're gonna have to open this up. Open a sealed Bantha to get your figure out and have it in the package. If you want to seal it, and will they offer the figure later separately? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. But wouldn't you want to have 3 or 4 of them just so you can make the picture work? Interesting. The fact they're making it means that they've got it in the production. They could do it again and change it and make it a little bit different. Cobb Vanth is a favorite and of people's. A pretty good looking figure overall. This is what he looks like when he took Boba Fett's armor off, I guess. I've heard females refer to him as something called a silver fox. Does that mean he runs really fast? I think he does. I think he's a runner in his spare time. All right, we're getting some Bad Batch figures. Now, I feel like this should have been a 6-pack. You know how they're doing those and doing a 6-pack? They should have done a 6-pack. Or a 5-pack or whatever. Just got them all in one box so you can get them all in one shot. I don't want to be strung along and maybe I get one, maybe I don't. And the one I'm missing showed up at Ross. This is Crosshairs. Looks fantastic. Great job. In the best scale. So looks really good. I like them. I like the way this looks. Do I like $17 a figure? I don't like that. I kind of want to not buy any of these for 17. No matter how good they look. We'll see. Moff Gideon, another amazing figure. This one here is in the Dark Trooper armor. Looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. I wish the figure itself was shinier, though. I feel like it doesn't have as much sheen to it as it should. Or shiny sheen to it. It could have a dull sheen. That's true. But the card, the figure, all that looks good. So no super complaints. And then now we got Night Sister Marin again. And this is something that I've said that I wish that they would have done a long time ago, was just offer them in both scales at the same time, so you can get them. But then it does get a little confusing and convoluted. They did that with Black Series. They made them in both scales and called it Black Series in both Black Series, and that was hyper confusing. Putting them both out at the same time in both scales and calling it the exact same thing was one of the dumbest moves that they made. But this is actually separating it out, and this figure looks cool. I mean, this figure might sell just on cool factor. Amazing looking figure alone. Rocket Launcher Trooper. This is a Stormtrooper with the... was actually Sand Trooper. The Rocket Launcher. Jedi Survivor. Which I haven't played Jedi Survivor. So here I am talking about this. I gotta ask my son about it. I think he's played it, but I haven't. So anyway. Good looking figure. So let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review. What else is out there that I missed? This is going way long. Putting your hair out.